So we actually have some really big games coming to Game Pass this March and April. My name is Sunny, and we're going to start this with finally some more Activision Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass with the Blizzard Arcade Collection. This is a collection of old school titles like Lost Viking, Rock and Roll Racing, Blackthorn, and more. They do come with modern features, things like, being able to save. Some of these came out in the 90s, so happy to see this. Obviously, I want to see a lot more Blizzard games. Love to see World of Warcraft and a lot more, but either way, I'm not going to complain. This is set to come to Game Pass on March 25th. We do have a couple games joining Game Pass Standard, starting with Octopath Traveler, and I mean, if you haven't played the Octopath games, you absolutely should. They are some amazing RPGs. You'll easily spend 40 to 80 hours depending on how much you like the side quests, but these are some of the best RPGs with that old school look, but it has that modern touch and modern feel. The other game coming to Standard is Train Sim World 5. As the name suggests, you'll be riding trains across multiple countries and taking full control as the conductor. Both of these are coming to Game Pass Standard on March 19th. Now, a new game coming to Game Pass, and what I'd say is maybe one of the more random games that I've ever seen in Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island. This is a story-rich exploration adventure where you play as Alex, a backpacker whose vacation has kind of got thrown for a loop, and you end up shipwrecked on an island, only that island happens to be home of the gods of Greek mythology, and now you have to befriend them essentially. The game has you doing a lot of exploring, finding treasures, and looking for clues, and you have to find out what's kind of going on with the island. It's kind of like essentially a bit of a detective game at heart. This one is set to land on Game Pass on March 20th. With that, we do have 3 new games coming to Game Pass Core, which I'm really happy to see, and they're pretty good ones. We have Batman Arkham Knight, which quite frankly is still one of the best Batman games ever made. Then you have the game Monster Sanctuary, and finally we have Tunic, the Zelda-like game. These are all headed to Game Pass Core on March 25th. We have the game 33 Immortals. This is a co-op roguelike that I've had my eyes on for a while. The game looks really promising. It lets you team up with other players, or rather, souls who have decided to rebel against God's final judgment, and it's basically like an MMO raid party where you and 32 others team up to take on hordes of monsters and bosses that demand teamwork to survive. The game lets you choose different playstyles like a tank, support, or ranged, each with unique skills and abilities that you can upgrade using relics you find along the way. Each session lasts about 25 minutes and ends with an epic boss fight. 33 Immortals is set to drop on Game Pass on March 18th as a Day 1 Game Pass title. Our next game is Frostpunk 2. It's finally making its way to Xbox consoles after a long wait. The game originally launched on PC some time ago, and to be honest, it was a shockingly different experience from the first game. It kept the same bleak atmosphere and brutal survival mechanics, but it took a whole new approach to city building. This time around, instead of placing individual buildings, you're constructing entire districts, each packed with essential resources like food provisions, energy, and shelter. And you can still add a few buildings within the district, but this lets the system bring a fresh twist that wasn't in the first game. On top of that, politics and negotiations play a much bigger role. You'll have to keep the government and factions in check and keep your people from killing each other, which is even tougher now with the overpopulation and skyrocketing demand. This one is set for summer on Game Pass console, and I'm excited for it. So it looks like we are getting our hands on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 Remastered coming straight to Game Pass. This is absolutely huge for those who are big Tony Hawk fans, because we all know 3 and 4 are or were some of the best in the series. This remastered collection offers new skaters, new parks, new music, and a ton of extra content while keeping everything we love about the originals. The visuals have been completely overhauled, making the game really look stunning, and the creator tools have been upgraded as well, so you can customize your skateboards and really give it your own personal touch. If you're into skateboarding games, even if you're new to the series, this collection is going to be a must play when it drops on Game Pass as a Day 1 title. I personally got to play these games back in the day, and I am excited to go and give Tony Hawk Remastered a great look when it comes out on Game Pass. If you're looking for something a little more cozy with a heartwarming story behind it, you're going to want to keep an eye on the game called Sopa. This is a unique exploration adventure that follows a boy who kind of gets transported into a fantasy world, all while searching for a potato in his grandmother's pantry. And for now, your goal is to help this kid find his way back home. And for that, you're going to have to solve puzzles, you're going to have to outsmart thieves, explore uncharted lands, and even make new friends along the way. I gotta say, the game looks absolutely adorable. It feels like a perfect pick for just about anyone regardless of their age. Sopa is set to join Game Pass as a Day 1 release on March 26th. Not sure if you remember the game Everwild, but this is an action adventure game that was first announced all the way back in 2019. 2019. And since we haven't really heard a lot about this, but a few days ago in a recent interview, Phil Spencer, the man himself, confirmed that the game is still in development, meaning the game is still on the cards, which is great. The first time I did see this, it really did catch my attention. For those who are just hearing about this game, it's an exploration adventure with more cozy gameplay about connecting with nature and saving its inhabitants. We still don't know when it's coming out, but we do know it's still, in play, and it's coming out exclusively for Xbox and landing on Game Pass hopefully sometime this 2025. So a game that we've been waiting for this March for Game Pass, or at least I have been, maybe you guys have been following with me, is Atomfall. This is a game that I've talked about a lot. It's a post-apocalyptic survival game, but I gotta say, the latest gameplay showcase, God, I'm more excited about this after seeing that. Everyone's kind of been calling this like the British Fallout since that first trailer, but honestly, it really is a lot more than that. It's kind of like a mix between New Vegas and Stalker. It's absolutely nails that like spooky yet stunning atmosphere of northern England's wilderness and its valleys and the creepy abandoned caves and buildings. And Atomfall features an interconnected open world areas that let you explore different regions at your own pace. And since it is a survival game, do expect all that usual stuff like gathering resources, hunting, and of course fighting enemies. And for that combat and gameplay, you can choose to fight using melee or ranged weapons, but the game does seem to reward you for kind of avoiding conflict. Atomfall is going to be a day one Game Pass title that's coming this March on March 27th. So for those who are big Assassin's Creed fans, Microsoft and Ubisoft seem to have teamed up to let players stream Assassin's Creed Shadow as part of Microsoft's Stream Your Own Games feature for Game Pass subscribers. That means you'll be able to stream Shadows from any device, including your TV, which I think is awesome, especially if you happen to really enjoy cloud gaming. We've already seen some preview footage from back in January, and honestly, the game looks absolutely intense. Shadow comes packed with an insanely smooth combat and even focuses on hyper-realistic facial animations, and is shaping up to be one of the more immersive Assassin's Creed experiences yet. And guys, the good thing is we won't have to wait long, as AC Shadows is set for release on March 18th. And with that, I do want to give you guys a disclaimer. This is not coming to Game Pass. It is something that you're gonna have to buy, but you can stream it if you end up buying the game as a Game Pass subscriber. You can stream your own game, which is streaming Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I want to make that clear. This is not coming for Game Pass. You do have to buy it, but you can go ahead and stream it if you are a Game Pass subscriber and you happen to buy it on the Microsoft Store. And before we move on to April Game Pass games, I do want to talk about Enter the Gungeon. This recently rejoined Game Pass. This is a massively popular bullet hell dungeon crawler that everyone has been in love with since it's ever released, including myself. I have never beaten this, for the record. I died and lost too many times, so this is really testing your gamer skills. It's really addictive. It has a lot of things that are happening right around you as you're shooting, looting, and dodging, trying to survive in these ever-changing dungeons. Check this game out. It's a must play if you haven't. Our next game is South of Midnight. This is one of the more exciting releases for Game Pass this year. It's a third-person action adventure game that throws you into a hurricane-torn world where reality and fantasy seems to have merged. You're gonna play as Hazel. This is a young woman who wants to find her lost mother after the hurricane, but instead she ends up getting caught in a mystical adventure that she's given these like powers, and these are powers of the Weaver. Now as Hazel, your goal is going to be to help the world heal as you try to figure out the secrets of this mysterious land. And the first thing you're probably going to notice is the game's super unique with this stop motion visuals, and that really brings that spooky land to life. From what I've seen so far, the game really puts a lot of emphasis on exploration, letting you travel across different areas where you're going to encounter a variety of monsters, some friendly while others not so much. This is looking like a really unique day one Game Pass game, one of the ones to really look out for, and I'm excited because it's coming early April on April 8th. So after a bunch of delays, Commandos Origins is finally set to come to Game Pass this April, and I'm pretty sure you know all about this game, but if you don't, Origins is the latest addition to the old school Commando series that I truly still love to this day. In this game, you get to lead a team of elite special ops soldiers through some of the toughest military missions set in World War II. And Origins stays true to its classic roots, but it does bring a fresh new experience with 10 highly challenging missions, and each set in unique environments that test your strategic thinking and tactical approach, and you'll be pulling off everything from stealthy sabotage to high-risk raids, even intense spy operations with the help of these soldiers. Commandos Origins is set to launch on April 9th on Game Pass, unless it does get delayed, but hopefully it doesn't. Now our next game is for anyone who loves extreme sports, and this one is simply the best in the business. I'm talking about Descenders Next, the upcoming sequels to Descenders, and this promises to give give you a more thrilling experience than the first game, with new challenges, new tracks, new rides, even new game modes. And really guys, there's a lot to get excited about. The sequel even promises to improve the physics and the trick system, letting you have more control over the movements of your rides. That's not all. Next also offers a variety of terrains that you can ride on, each with their own challenges and obstacles, which I gotta say also kind of makes this game pretty exciting. Customization's also been a lot more improved. You have a whole new library of gear sets, cosmetics, and a lot more. This one is set to arrive on Game Pass on April 9th. So we have the super innovative yet mind-bending puzzle adventure game called Blueprints. This game throws you into a mysterious manner where the layout is constantly shifting, and your goal is to uncover its secrets and somehow track down the infamous Room 46. And you do that by making choices. You get to choose which room to enter next, and depending on your choice, the entire structure of the place can shift, opening up new paths or closing off others. Now this was quite hard to explain, but trust me, if you love a good challenge, this one's going to be for you. Blueprints is set to arrive on Game Pass on April 10th. While we're on the topic of puzzle games, we have a game called Tempopo. This is a lot more cozier take on the genre. Instead of spooky mansions or tricky brain teasers, Tempopo is going to be all about restoring a beautiful musical garden, and you do that with the help of these cute little creatures called Tempopos. Your goal is to help them get moving in harmony to restore the music on these cozy little islands, and each island is a small puzzle that requires you to plan routes and experiment with different solutions and guide these creatures through these obstacles across all 4 seasons. Tempopo is set to arrive on Game Pass on April 17. We have the game Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This is a turn-based RPG with a deep narrative, and the game's going to put you in control of the last remaining citizens who have decided to fight back against an evil deity called the Paintress. And the Paintress has been wiping out their loved ones for years, and the game looks like it's going to deliver a fantastic mix of emotional storytelling, some intense battles, mixing turn-based tactics with a touch of real-time strategy. You'll also get to build and customize your team of expeditioneers, choosing from different skills, abilities, synergies to really create that perfect squad. If you love JRPGs packed with deep lore, rich customization, and I gotta say a gorgeous looking fantasy world, this one is definitely worth checking out. Expedition 33 is set to drop as a day 1 Game Pass title on April 24th. So we have some games rumored for Game Pass. I want to just kind of throw like a quick reminder of these because we've talked about them before, and I feel like at least one of them for sure is coming. And the first one is Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. This one actually was rumored back in February. We were thinking it was coming in February, but it might come this month, so I wanted to throw that out. However, not only that game, we have another 3 actually. Heroes of the Storm for PC, the Patrick Star game, and then we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. These are games that we really want to watch out for. I think they're coming soon. Nothing's been confirmed yet. As I said, they're rumored, but we'll keep a good eye out for these. With that, we have some really big games leaving Game Pass this March 31st. I'm actually really bummed. MLB The Show 24, as you guys know, I'm such a big fan. It's now leaving. That means this franchise is now completely off of Game Pass, period. Then you have a bunch of Yakuza games, which sucks to see. You do get a discount if you want to buy these before they go, but either way, a huge bummer and some pretty big games leaving.